right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday, and we're always happy to see our friends from Noble Wine Estates, the Jackson portfolio of wines. These guys have got great wines, and the Stonestreet winery was the focus of this tasting. This is a winery that's been up and down, and you know they've made some big numbers, and they've scaled things back, and now they're really focusing on quality. And, well, single vineyard wines, and you're not going to find these wines floor stacked in Costco anymore, or, you know, some of these other big box chains. You're going to find them mostly in fine dining restaurants and small boutique stores like this one. They only have 7,000 cases total production now under Stonestreet, so that's relatively small, especially for this group. When you look at the Vintners Reserve Chardonnay, they make 3 million cases of that one wine. All right, well, the Sauvignon Blanc Aurora was up first, and this is from Alexander Mountain, a tiny vineyard. They only make 578 cases of this vintage, and it's got that lovely kind of minerality from the mountain wines, kind of wet slate, and that lovely musky quality you get from Sauvignon Blanc, white grapefruit, green melon, some briny, minerally notes, really fresh and lively on the tongue. This wine's got a lovely structure, that melon and grapefruit citrus, and a lovely savoriness to the finish. A bit of that musky note really coming through, more pronounced on the second day. That's right, Sauvignon Blanc needs a little time to air out, and these 2012 vintage wines, outstanding. They're going to last in your cellar. The Sauvignon Blancs, upwards of 10, 15 years. Excellent juice, or more. I found an old Matanzas Creek Sauvignon Blanc from Sonoma that was 20 years old in the Vinotech when I bought this store, and it was absolutely spectacular. So, Stonestreet Chardonnay Estate, this is a new wine for them. Well, they're bringing back, you know, the old label, I guess, for an entry-level product, so they have something in their reasonable price range at $36.75. So it's got a little bit of banana, kind of tropical fruit to the nose, along with a good hand of wet stone-like minerality, vanilla bean, creme brulee, white flowers. Lovely balance on the palate here with a nice hint of lightly toasted oak spice to that tree fruit, nice freshness on the finish. Very good Chardonnay at $36.75. Freemark Abbey, winery that's been kicked around also for many years. Went into bankruptcy, and the Jacksons bought it out of bankruptcy. And Ted Edwards is still there, though, man. He's been there for 30 years. He could be the longest tenured winemaker in all of Napa. If it wasn't for Paul Draper still being at Ridge, possibly in all of California. But this wine's got a lovely, fresh and fruity nose, just like most Napa wines, more peach and apple, really pretty vanilla bean creme brulee notes, a little bit of banana there also, really rich and forward bouquet, nice juicy fruit on the tongue here too, a nice hint of oak, a real crowd pleaser, a really good little Chardonnay, also $27. I like the Chardonnay from Stonestreet, maybe a little nicer, had a little more freshness, but also $10 more on the price tag. All right, the Upper Barn, which is an incredible vineyard site for Chardonnay. Helen Turley, I don't know if she still makes an Upper Barn at Marcusson. She used to buy some of the fruit here before it got sold to the Jackson family, and they were still selling it to her. But this is a vineyard at 1,800-foot elevation. You get some incredible aromatics out of this wine, all native yeast, pretty orange blossoms, white peach, kind of chalk-like mineral notes, really rich and layered on the tongue. This wine's got a lovely, creamy, smooth texture, lots of that ripe tree fruit, and a nice hand of tongue-tingly minerality on the finish, that vanilla and cinnamon spice lasting all the way to the end, and a load of acidity here. This wine is excellent at $72. You could cellar this one for upwards of 10 years easily. The Freemark Abbey Merlot up next, 2012, producing a bevy of crowd-pleasing wines from Napa Valley. This wine's got a good amount of dark plum and cherry fruit on the nose, some pine and cedar, some cigar box spice, really plump and ripe Merlot on the palate, some lovely jammy fruit, but velvety, silky, smooth tannins. One of the things we love about Merlot, and it's that lovely milk chocolate and herbs on the finish. Very good juice at $32.25. Then the Freemark Abbey Cabernet Napa from 11, which has got that green, peppery, wintergreen kind of note that these underripe 2011s have. Dark currant, dark cherry fruit, and, you know, still nice. It still has some nice... on the second day, actually, this wine was better. Didn't have that as much greenness, had a little more fruit to it. But still, I mean, you really have to pick and choose your Cabernets in 2011. For $37.50, we're going to wait for this one to go on sale. It's going to happen. They haven't sold through it in the next couple months. The 2010 Stonestreet Estate... wow, this is 2010 is an outstanding vintage. It needs a little time. This wine better on the next morning. And this wine is sourced from vineyards along a ridge line that are 1,200 to 1,800-foot elevation, and a good amount of dark currant and dark cherry fruit here, dark spices, minty, cardamom notes, black pepper, crushed rock-like minerality, really complex. This wine has got a lovely amount of dark berry fruit coming out on the second day. It needs a couple hours to open up, 10 a cooler vintage, and these wines are going to be great in your cellar after 5, 10 years. Well, I like my California Cabernets between 10 and 15 years old. Some lovely spice and earth on this long layered finish. Excellent juice at $30. Wow, that one, it may be the value of the whole entire tasting. All right, the Rockfall is a single vineyard Stonestreet Cabernet from 2,300 foot elevation, which there's only 300 cases of this wine. So at $99, most excellent juice. May not be that much better than the estate, but definitely a step up in terms of concentration and richness. You notice that elevation definitely gives you a little bit more concentration. The dark cocoa, crushed rock-like minerality also still there, and a lovely core of dark berry, cassis, and currant fruit. Big and chewy on the tongue. This wine's got some tannins. It needs a little bit of time. I would hold on to it for 5, 10 years in your cellar, or just order a nice big steak with it. Most excellent juice. All right, the Freemark Abbey Sycamore and Boucher, also from the 10 vintage. These are two of the most famous wines made in Napa. People forget Freemark Abbey was the only winery to have not one but 2 wines in the Paris tasting of '76. The Sycamore, to me, showing a little bit more austerity, and the Boucher showing a little more juicy fruit. Both of them have that lovely kind of fresh plowed loamy earth. And 2010, like I said, these wines needed a day to open up. Both of them excellent, but at $93, maybe just a little pricey, and that's been the issue with these wines in the past. You see them dramatically discounted, and a lot of times closer to $50 retail, which that would be a good buy. All right, that's what we had to drink with our friends from Noble Wine Estates. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.